What's up, Canes fans? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast powered by Anajar and Levine. Miami got another commitment. Offensive tackle Jaden Wilkerson from Orlando. Huge pickup, 6'6", 330 basketball player. Coach Mirabal likes him big and athletic, and he got exactly what he's looking for with Jaden Wilkerson. Really excited about this pickup. Shout out to Anajar and Levine, 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life if you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident. Pete, jump in here. Let's talk about this one. I know you're an offensive line guru, having represented Titus Howard, who was a quarterback in high school, who ended up becoming a first-round pick at offensive line. That's a position that is very much developmental, and every offensive line coach, executive have certain traits they look for. But I think all of them agree that when you have length, 6'6", the girth, 330 pounds, and you're a basketball player with athleticism, those are all things that really can be molded into the tackle position.
Yeah, look, D, I wouldn't call myself a guru. You use the word, not me. But in today's game, man, if you can't move at that position, then you're behind the eight ball there, right? So obviously we see the size. We know what Mario's size is, and we see him next to Mario right here, making him look like a little kid almost, right? And you look at Wilkerson, and he has a baby face of his own, right? So he has some growth and some developing to do. But we'll pull up his huddle clips here in a minute. We have a couple basketball clips, but we love the basketball talk. I think when it comes to offensive linemen, if you're playing basketball, right, you can obviously just be the big guy who's standing there and eating up space, right, as the center. But what you see in a couple clips of Wilkerson that will show, and you see it in his football clips as well, is the flexibility, the bend. When you're 6'7", when you're a taller tackle like that, something they worry about, the scouts, is, are you a waist bender, right? Because if you bend at the waist, that's not really what they want to see. They want to see you have the ability to bend at your knees, keep your balance, right? Keep that core tight. And everyone always wants to talk about the athletic part of things, but flexibility is a big part of, because people just think athletic ability is strength, speed, what your measurables are, but that flexibility is really, really important. And I think just in the limited stuff that we have on him, he brings that to the table at that size. And
that's something you see in basketball, right? You're not posting up, bending at your waist, right? You're going to be bending your knees. You're going to be flexible and in an athletic stance. So Jaden Wilkerson, 3-star player, 85 ranking. So not the highest rated player in terms of the ranking, probably because he is so raw and played at a smaller school. Visits to Rutgers, Syracuse, Northeast schools. UCF was in on this one. Miami's able to pull it out with Coach Mirabal. But again, the size, you saw that. You see the athletic ability just translating as a lower level of competition. What I like is first years at Lake Highland Prep, smaller school, plays offense and defense, goes to Lake Nona, produces, as you're seeing, as a left tackle, is very productive, all-league player there. Now he's at Orlando Edgewater. I cannot wait to watch him. I'll probably drive up to see him and see what he can do at Orlando Edgewater, because that is a big-time school, produces a lot of top prospects. You go against a lot of top defensive ends at that school. So we're going to see what he can do at that higher level of competition. But obviously the tool set is of a big-time player. It's very similar to the commitment we talked about recently on the last show, which was Demetrius Campbell, another private school basketball player, 6'6", 300 plus Orlando kid. I mean, really a mirror image of Jaden Wilkerson in many respects. Miami gets 2 guys from Orlando, 2 basketball players with good weight, not a lot of bad weight, can work in the weight room, 6'6", 300 plus, and in Wilkerson's case, 330, and a lot of just natural tools that you can't coach. For Coach Mirabal, one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, to mold.
Yeah, and he'll be a tackle, right? This isn't a guy that we see playing inside. Some of these other guys that they've been recruiting have some inside-outside versatility, but I expect him to be a tackle all the way.
100%. And look, I understand some are frustrated, and I am one of them, that Miami's not in the mix for more guys like Kelvin Banks, Josh Connerly, and of course, Francis Mauineau, those 5-star defense or offensive tackles that Mario's gone after in the past, your Penei Sewells. I was hoping to get a mix of those guys who often do pan out. Recruiting rankings are getting better, but then also these developmental types. The numbers show historically you want to throw numbers at the offensive line position because some guys develop, some guys don't. And you want to target the uncoachables, the frame. Guys can get heavier and stronger, but they're usually not going to get taller or longer. So you want the frame, you want the body type. You don't want narrow guys. Neither of these guys, Demetrius Campbell or Jaden Wilkerson, are narrow. They're both pretty wide-shouldered guys. And you want the athletic ability. Of course, the part we can't see is the intangible aspect. Who's going to be put in the work? Who's going to be coachable, who's going to be tough, who's going to be pushing hard in the weight room, all those kind of things you just can't really see on these huddle clips or on these pictures. But what you can see, as we saw with that Cristobal clip and on some of the basketball clips that you've played and some of the clips of this kid moving around, is he does have athletic ability, as you can see right here.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like a lumbering. He's a big boy, but he's not lumbering, man. He's got some skinnier legs, with some athletic ability, right? Some of these big guys are you got the cankles and you got, it takes a lot to get those big tree limbs moving, right? You can see, again, it's not like we're talking about an explosive play or anything like that right here, but he definitely is not a big slouch.
And he's young for his age. I don't know the exact age, but I've heard multiple times, and he said it himself, that he is young for his grade. So that you factor that into development as well. There you see the spin.
Look at the footwork, nice footwork there. I mean, this is all very important. A lot of offensive line play, D, is about not wasting movements, right? You have these big guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. And sometimes the defensive linemen win in the blink of an eye because of a misstep or something like that. The footwork, I mean, you see it here, little drop step right there, spin to the hoop, and nice touch, man. Yeah,
and you can coach footwork, but you can't coach feet. You either have the good feet or you don't. And then if you have the good feet, the proper footwork, the proper steps can be coached with a detail-oriented coach like Alex Mirabal and Coach Cristobal as a head coach. So you see the ball of clay, and to me, it's just interesting that you really saw the same exact thing on both sides of the ball. Miami's going to focus on bigger ticket items on the inside. SJ Alafatuli, I butchered that name, from Las Vegas, will be visiting this weekend. Cortez Smith from Atlanta area visited recently, a couple weeks ago. He's at Georgia. If Miami can withstand that Georgia visit, they got a great chance to get him in the class. Already have TK Moe in the class. So guys that they can really use inside next to these mountainous tackles. Here you got the edit here of the official visit for Wilkerson. Heard it went well. Obviously it did, because he has committed to the University of Miami. And I think it's important to remember Mario Cristobal's lines at Oregon, the ones that Bo Nix blew up under, and of course Mario's quarterbacks did well under. They had guys like this, multiple guys like this. There were 3 stars, but had the body types and the athleticism of higher ranked players. They were developed by Mirabal. They were developed in the weight room by Feld. So there's a blueprint there. It's not just, hey, get a tall guy, a basketball player, and see it's going to work. They've done it before. Now, it doesn't always work out. These guys are not all going to pan out, but if you take the right types of shots with the right body types and the right athleticism, you're at least in the right you're in the right ballpark. You're in the right part of the store. And then we'll see who pans out and who develops into that player. Again, a lot of it comes down to intangibles. How are they going to work? How are they going to deal with increased contact? Both of these guys, Demetrius Campbell and Jaden Wilkerson, are going to be stepping up in competition in a major way. Wilkerson will at least have played at Edgewater as a senior to get that higher level high school competition. But both guys to this point have not played elite competition. So that's going to be an adjustment. But it's also going to help them too, in terms of really pushing them to be better and not just kind of coast. Not that they're lazy, but it's hard when you're going against tiny guys all the time sometimes to really stay engaged. And I think the higher level competition is going to push these guys to be even better players.
And I'm excited to see what their senior tape looks like as well, because the progression comes pretty quickly with these big guys. And as soon as that light bulb goes off for them, it could be game over. And you see how much better they can get in just one season.
Yeah, and you mentioned the position. It's funny, Miami really a tackle. They're overdoing a tackle, and that's a good thing. You want an abundance of tackles. You do not want an abundance of interior linemen that have to play outside. You want it the other way around. So you got a Francis Mawanoa, who was recruited as a tackle. Samson Okolola recruited as a tackle. Matt McCoy recruited as a tackle. Markel Bell, tackle all day. Tommy Kinsler's played pretty much exclusively tackle since he's been here. Derek Plass played left tackle in spring from Jacksonville. And of course, now Wilkerson and Campbell, pure tackle bodies. Get enough of those tackle bodies. Let the best man stay outside, and then you can move the other ones inside, and that's going to give you a longer, more athletic offensive line as opposed to when Cristobal got here and you had centers, really like Delone Scaife, playing tackle, or Justice Alawasin. Guys that really fit better at center from a height standpoint were playing tackle at times. You do not want to see that at Miami. You want to see guys that look the part and look like this. So I think that's part of what's happening here. They're not all going to make it, but at least you are targeting the right body type. Jeff Stoutland, who is now at the Philadelphia Eagles, probably the best offensive line coach in the NFL. He did the same thing when he was at Miami with guys like Malcolm Bunch, Chantrell Henderson, Jeremiah Johnson, Brandon Linder, Feliciano. They didn't all pan out, but he was targeting the right type of guy, and you end up having a big offensive line. Coach Mirabal doing the exact same thing here at the University of Miami.
Again, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We expect a lot of movement here on the recruiting front in the next couple weeks. So keep it locked to CanesInsight.com. Completely free. Sign up if you have not done so already. And keep it locked on this channel, Canes Insight on YouTube. Remember, like and subscribe.
Shout out to Caneswear, the spot where Miami fans shop, and Caneswear.com. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Yeah, this an insight to the Canes, and you know we ain't playing no games. Joaquin said dominate, so that's what we do. Home of the legends and 7th floor crew, down in Miami where hurricanes brew. You here for the rumors, we bring you the news, cause it's all about the you, and nobody do it like Canes Insight. 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 It's Canes Insight.